Hello everyone, this is Lakshman. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. In the today's session, I am sharing the 5 most common automation testing engineering entry questions for experienced candidate only. Okay, so these questions are most popular entry questions for automation testing engineers. So I am not talking about questions like tell me about yourself, explain about your project. Okay, those questions are very common in any interview, but I'm not talking about those interview questions. So I'm going to talking about like scenario oriented automation testing interview questions. Okay, so the first question is, how do you select a test case for automation? This is most important for experienced candidate. Okay, the interviewer may ask this question to get a sense of your skills in determining the execution frequency for a test case. Okay, so these are the scenarios to select a test case for automation. Tests that need to be run against every build or release of the application, such as a smoke test or sanity test and a regression test. Okay, so those test cases you must do automation. Okay, and second one, the tests that need to be run against multiple configuration. That means you have to run those test cases on different operating system and different browser or combination. Then you should have to do automation for those test cases. Okay, the third one, tests that execute the same workflow but use different data for its input for each tester. For example, data driven. So in one, tests that involve inputting large volumes of data, such as filling up every long forms. Okay. The next one is tests that can be used for performance testing, like stress and load testing. Okay. And tests that take a long time to perform and may need to be run during breaks or overnight. Okay. So generally speaking, the more repetitive the test run, the better it is for automation. Okay. The next question is, how do you decide which tool to use for automation testing? Okay. How do you decide which tools to use for automation testing? So the interviewer wants to know your decision process and how you apply the tools used to the automation testing process. Okay. So for example, you can say answer like this. I would start by looking at the requirements to identify which testing scenario I want to automate. Then I would research the tools that support the project requirements. For this, I determine whether the budget can support necessary resources, either by supplying necessary tools or hiring skilled personnel as needed. Finally, I would compare the tools needed to ensure they meet key criteria and choose tools that not only fit the criteria but stay within the company budget as well. So this is the perfect answer whenever you face this question. Okay, how do you decide which tools to use for automation testing? Okay, I will tell you one more thing, guys. If you want this documentation, please comment in the comment section. I will provide this documentation to your mail ID. Okay, the next question is, how many test cases have you automated in a day? So this is one of the most frequently asked automation testing interview question. Okay, so you must prepare well answer for this one. Is the numbers usually dependent on the complexity of the test cases. With limited complexity, I could reasonably automate 5 to 6 test cases per day. For more complex scenarios, I was able to automate only 1 or 2 test cases per day. So I would also break down the most complex test cases into elements like take input, calculation, and verifying output to organize the project. So some of the test cases took me 2 days to complete. So it really depends on the complexity of the test cases. So don't say directly, I will do 10 test cases per day or 20 test cases per day, like that. You have to prepare answer like this. Okay, so it really depends on the complexity of the test case. Okay, Next question is, what kind of frameworks have you worked with? Okay, so you can simply say answer like this. I am familiar with keyword driven or data driven frameworks, and also have experience on hybrid frameworks as well. Okay, so whatever the frameworks you have experience, you can explore in front of the interviewer. Okay, the next question is, what type of test would you not automate? The best answer is the test that you will run only once, and user experience test for usability. Okay, and the tests that need to be run as soon as possible. Usually a new feature which is developed requires a quick feedback, so testing is manually at first. Okay, and the tests that are require ad hoc or random testing based on the domain knowledge are express, that means exploratory testing. In these scenarios, you would not need any automation testing, you can do manually only. Okay, so most importantly, the test that will run only once. In this scenario, you can do manual testing only. Next question is, what are the different test levels you have worked on? Can you please explain? So the answer is, there are different types of testing levels are there in software testing, like a unit test, component testing, integration testing, system testing, end-to-end testing, user acceptance testing, beta testing. Okay, so these are the different levels of testing. Okay, then unit testing is done by the developer only. So this testing is done by the developer as soon as they develop a certain code, if it is working or not. The next one is component testing. So this testing is done by the QA only. So individual component testing by the QA team without integration with other components. So this is to verify that standalone components are working as expected. The next one is integration testing. So integration testing is also done by the QA only. So testing of the interfaces between different systems, so as to confirm that different components can work together with proper way. Okay, the system testing is also done by the QA only. Okay, so the entire system is working properly as per our requirement or not. Okay, the next one is end-to-end testing. End-to-end testing involves verifying the end-to-end functional flow involving multiple systems. Okay, next one is a user acceptance test. How does the client accept your test result without a system walkthrough? So business users walk through the system during user acceptance testing phase in order to provide approval or sign off. The final one is beta testing, that means end users. So it giving access to a set of end users to the system is working or not, and they are expecting the feedback from the end users as well. Okay, these are the most common asked entry questions for software testing engineers, that to experienced candidates. Okay, so don't forget these entry questions before attending any technical round. As a senior automation testing engineer, definitely you will meet 3 to 4 entry questions from these. If you want these entry questions documentation, please comment in the comment section. I will provide the documentation through your email ID. So thank you for watching. We will meet in the next video.